Hey guys, right before this episode starts, I wanted to mention the new host of Nerd Talk today, my co-host Haidyn Marie. She will be on a good amount of the episodes that we do, hopefully all of them, but she has now joined the cast of Nerd Talk. So Haidyn, if you want anything to say, you can say now to the fans.
All right. Well, hi, my name is Haydn. I got a cute dog in the back, so you should like me. Um, I really enjoy, I'm starting to get into anime. I'm not quite there yet. I really like video games. I am a huge fan of musicals and all things acting. I do that every day. It's my life. Um, yeah, those are kind of the things I really enjoy. But I'm really excited to be here, and I can't wait to interview people.
Guys, if you guys want to, I will leave her link down in the description down below. Go check out her social medias. But yeah, with all that being said, enjoy the episode of hopefully the final episode of Interviews with Lotus. I don't know. I don't know. So enjoy. Hey everyone, welcome back to Nerd Talk, the weekly podcast show where we take a deep dive into all things nerdy of the week, including movies, games, comics, manga, etc., etc. Starting today, we're continuing a series that I thought I finished, but evidently I did not. We're continuing interviews with Lotus. Today, we have a very special guest, the Green Goblin himself, John Salandria. He's an actor, performer, and director known for very big projects, actually. Sweet Taste of Souls, the short film titled Bloody Mary. And you can catch him in films next year, such as I See Darkness, and when he plays Green Goblin himself in Spider-Man Lotus. John, buddy, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here, man.
Thank you, guys, and thank you for that very complimentary welcome. I
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
that.
Well, like, yeah, because when I did my research about you, I was like, he's in Netflix? Like, what is, like, there's so much going on. I did not know how big you, like,
Well,
because
well,
everybody,
I wouldn't say that, but I would say that it's funny.
What?
I would.
Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. But look, I started in the theater when I
Mm,
was very very young,
yeah. That's
and
actually one of our questions. We touched upon that.
but I think it's that it's like throwing a million things. I feel like as long as you have the tools,
Mm,
if you're throwing everything at the wall, and then finally one day that thing sticks, and then that's it. Everything changes.
yeah, man. Well,
I hope.
getting getting right into it. What was the audition process of like for getting Green Goblin? Obviously, starting right into it. What was it like for you to have to, because this is a very iconic character, and Lotus is a pretty popular film right now. So, what was that like trying to get this role?
Well, to be honest with you, as usually, because this is what I was gonna say before. It's a very interesting thing being a fan and approaching something.
Mm,
I feel like you're usually better off as a fan when you're in the director's chair
yeah.
because it's look, there's only so much you can do. When the camera is on you, it is the ultimate. I don't know if I can curse on here. Can I curse on here?
Yes. Yes, you can curse. I
It
would
is
swear
the
like a
it is,
fucking racist.
okay. It is the ultimate. It is the ultimate bullshit detector, and it truly is. You can see. I don't care if you're a celebrity. I don't care if you're nobody. You can see with somebody. You can see it in their eyes.
Mm,
And when you're the director, you have a certain degree of separation, and you have a certain degree of control, which I believe gives you a sense of, at least would give me, a sense of security. But as the actor, everything is kind of on the table. And when you have, and my perfect example, and Mark Hamill is one of my inspirations. Like it's when I started in conservatory, I was always doing his voices. A perfect example, I think, would be the Killing Joke,
yeah.
because it was not, in my opinion, a bad performance, but I would say 100% that he was in his head, and it's
Mm,
because he loved that story so much, and I think he was so worried about doing a bad job or not the job that he expected to do that you can. When a great teacher told me it is a blessing and a curse to be a smart actor because you end up getting in your own way, and it's very true. But usually for roles like this, the audition process is very weird.
mm,
I didn't even know about this audition. I didn't know that it was being cast. Whatever. A friend of mine who's working on the film, Ben, as an effects artist. He he contacted me because we were working on another project, and he said, "Listen, this is opening up this role. I think you would be good for it, but listen, it's got to be quick. Like he's looking to cast it. There's other people involved, so it just so happened to fit into everything. I sent him something over. Gavin really enjoyed it. And just to get it out of the way, Gavin is incredible. I've just like we've met on about a month or two ago. What he's accomplished is incredible, and it should be a testament to anybody who's looking to get into filmmaking.
Yeah.
But that's what it was like for me. It was a very quick, it wasn't like, oh my God, I heard about this and I have to find it. I have to try and get in here. It was like oh shit, I got to try and get in here because this would be a really good opportunity. And I got very lucky. So
yeah, I mean,
that's how that happened.
It is a very interesting idea because, with the casting of Lotus, a lot of people, I know for, experience, Warden and Sean, they were not necessarily auditioned. They kind of just, were brought onto the project. Twin and Moriah definitely auditioned as well. But this character wasn't really, like, nobody knew that this character was going to be in the film. And even, quite frankly, Gavin kind of lied and said that there wasn't going to be a villain in this story.
Yes.
That Green Goblin was just going to be a character of the past that, had come and gone. So I've already had words with Gavin about this whole thing because I was a little perturbed, but no, it was cool to actually see, well, not really see, but hear that he is actually in the film.
Yeah.
That the story of the Green Goblin is actually going to be a big part in Lotus. But yeah, no, I don't know. I'm really excited about it. Haidyn?
Yeah, one of my questions is how did you go about like taking on like such a well-known villain role and making it your own? Because that is like one of the hardest things to do.
It is, and like I said, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have just come onto the project. Most of my stuff is going to be shot in additional photography. Everything that I've really done for the role, you have pretty much heard. Beyond a line or two that was just good alternates. I haven't received the script as of yet. I'm gonna get that hopefully very very soon. We're hoping to shoot, I believe, in December.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna take the next month. Like I said, I want to research the character and watch those films again. I'm looking up. Truthfully, I want to see the order that I should go about it. I don't know if I should go from the new films to the old ones. Start with comics.
A list. I've got.
That's what I would. That's what I would appreciate, stuff like that, because and that's another thing. I do think that it's a privilege as an actor to go into something and not know, because then you get to go on the journey and the audience, and of discovery, and the audience feels that discovery with you. If it's the first time, it's like a character on stage. When you finally feel like you get to know it, is like the last performance you ever do. So with all that research and you build up, hopefully the audience will go through all that stuff with you.
And do you have another question you want to ask?
Yeah, so you kind of explained how you found out about Spider-Man Lotus. You said a friend of yours,
Ben Cunnin.
Yeah, I've heard about Ben. Yeah, I've heard that he's on the VFX team.
Yes, he is. Very talented guy. Actually just sent me this morning something of myself aged up, which was very cool. That stuff is like sorcery to me. I don't know how. I'd love to learn how it works.
Aged up for Lotus, or just like?
No. Just screwing around. It was just me. He took a picture of or a clip rather from my acting reel, and he said, "Here's you old," and it looked very, very good.
Well, getting into that kind of idea of Green Goblin and everything like that. You said earlier that you took inspiration from Tim Curry's Pennywise, as well as different versions of the character in the past. But how does your interpretation of the character differ from previous adaptations of the Green Goblin?
Well, and when I say I took inspiration from Tim Curry, I say just for that sound, that voice, and for me, I find that once I find that character's voice, it's an easier way in, and I'm hoping, and as I said, I'm not too familiar with. I've seen a little bit of Willem Dafoe and a little bit of Steve Blum. I'm hoping, and from what me and Gavin have talked about, that this character will be I don't know how to say it. Not a little. I don't want to say a little more modern because that's not true. I wanted to be a little relevant to everybody and everybody who because people have such dear. They hold these characters very dearly, and they have expectations and ways they want to see them. And so I feel like the best way to answer that question is you take the best from what has been left for you, and then you kind of use that as a stepping stone to create something new. And I don't really know what that's going to be yet, so we'll find out what it is together.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because you kind of hit it right on the head that fans take this very seriously, especially superhero fans. This is doing anything in the superhero world, whether it be like a movie or a TV show or a game or a comic, anything. The fans are gonna have some opinion about it, and it can either be
some harsh judgment, man.
Very harsh judgment, very difficult judgment, and I'm so grateful and so happy that Gavin has kind of gotten on the good side. This film has received extremely well, expectations and extremely well, criticism, and the only 2 trailers have been released. Like it's nuts. I'm very happy for him. That's what I was gonna kind of ask earlier was without obviously spoiling anything because obviously, but are we gonna see a version of your Norman Osborn, because obviously Green Goblin is Norman Osborn underneath the mask or the mutation or whatever. So are we gonna see that, or are you just gonna do the voice or anything like that?
Well, like I said, guys, I have yet to receive the script, so I truthfully I can't tell you, and I don't think even if I did know, I really would be able to say. Well, no, I don't think that. I talked to Gavin about like the stuff that I could say on the show, and he understands like the position that it's in. And I know you guys. From what I understand, it is a possibility for me to be in the costume, but because of the production being in another place for so long, it might make more sense to have a different body double work in the suit because they're there and they can do it. Yeah. And then if that was the case, I would just go to set and work with that actor and just kind of try and perform. And then what I would probably do, because I've never been in that position before, is I would just do what I would do as the character, and then ask him or her to mimic that as much as they could, and bring whatever they want to it. So that I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work out. And the other way, it would be if it would be me under there, I would just have to figure that out as well.
Sweating bullets right now, trying to make sure that he doesn't say. I said you're sweating bullets right now, trying to make sure you don't say anything.
No, I'm really not, guys. I gotta tell you, I'm trying to. If I seem a little, it's because I feel like I don't want to give you no information. You probably know more about the project in and of itself, especially about the production building up now than I do, because I like I said, I'm in a different location. I got pulled in very late, but I'm not trying not to tell you anything. I'm telling you what I know.
Even if you did know more, we're not gonna hold it against you. We understand.
Of course, I know.
Yeah. No, the production of this
film. Feel free, ask whatever you want. I will tell you whatever I can.
Whatever you can. I get that. Haidyn, you want to ask him something?
I do. So, what did it feel like? How did you react when you found out that you were cast as Green Goblin?
Oh, well, I was very, very happy. And that was the first time. And even with it being, because some people will, people always say, well, it's a fan film. I'm like, yeah, it is. But that's not only because of where Gavin has been able to reach, but that's an incredible character to play. And I, even not being a huge Spider-Man guy growing up, I still knew who the Green Goblin was. I still was familiar with the character. And when I got the part, I was ecstatic, truly ecstatic, and very, very excited to do it, to work on it. Especially when I saw the trailers or the trailer rather, that had been released at the time, and the level of quality that I think it's going to be. So that you always get excited to work when you're going to work in something good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's a crazy feeling that, when you get a role accepted like that, especially like, for you, because like you said, you're joining this so late, and like,
Yes.
you know, I when I watched the trailers, okay, when I watched the first trailer, I was in the watch party for all of them, for both trailers so far. And to make matters worse, for the second trailer, Gavin actually called me and made me listen to a snippet of it. Didn't tell me what it was. It was actually the scene where Spider-Man is swinging. The
Oh,
one scene.
didn't that look amazing?
Beautiful, beautifully
It
done.
really did.
But I
I
had
was
no
so
idea
impressed
what I
by
was
On the
that.
listening to.
floor.
I had no idea what I was listening to. And before I could even ask, he hung up on me.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, he's loving that. That's the.
Oh, I was pissed.
I would too.
I was pissed. I was so
that's
mad.
great.
I was like, "Are you?" I
But
spammed him. I spammed
But you know what though? I saw a commercial the other day for this. Maybe you guys saw it. It was a guy in a spaceship, and it was about to take off, and all of a sudden somebody comes in and says, "Your wife says your blue chew is here," and the guy runs out of the spaceship and greets his wife and the spaceship takes off without him. And he greets his wife and he takes the stuff and it's in this big blue box and all it says is bluechew.com. Start your subscription today.
Mm.
I didn't know what the hell it was, but I wanted to know. and that's the point. You that's what kills so many things. You give way too much away, and then people know, and then people criticize because they want to feel like they're in. It's such a strange world we live in today, because everybody's trying to justify themselves in some sort of way. Everybody's trying to, and everybody feels. What I believe the biggest issue is, and not to get like political or whatever, is that people used to live in this. There's a reason they say ignorance is bliss. And people used to live in this world of kind of ignorance before. But now things have become so obvious. And there's so much money in certain places. It's like, well, we could fix all these problems. We just don't want to. And that's what makes people kind of hopeless. And they feel like because there are people living near me, because I live in Hollywood, on Rodeo Drive. They break a window. Yeah, they break a window, steal a handbag. That's $50,000 for one handbag. While these people are living on the street. I mean, and it's not to say that you should begrudge people who have things, but it is, I believe, a duty of those who have to give back, and it has become so. The divide has become so
just
much
big.
Yes, that people there is no middle class anymore. There is the working poor.
Yeah,
and people are sad, and I can't blame them for that. But so that was my little tangent on that.
This took a serious turn, man. This took a serious.
I know.
Getting back to the whole fantasy idea.
Yeah. I was always very. I'm sorry. I was always very, very into politics and current events, because I think the biggest thing with this country is people treat politics like sports. They either follow or they don't, and whatever my team does is great. Whatever your team does sucks. You can't look at it like that.
No, you can't.
It can't be all or nothing. Either side, or we're gonna be screwed. But that's it. Swear to God.
Well, getting more into the more fantasy idea, because this is what Lotus is about. Outside of Lotus, outside of Green Goblin and everything like that, if there was any other superhero or villain that you would like to play on the big screen, who would that be and why?
Probably the Joker, because
I fucking knew that he was gonna say that.
Yeah.
I knew he was gonna say that.
Well, he holds a very.
It's a classic.
It is.
Classic.
But I feel like I don't feel like I don't want to say like a fraud, but you guys have to understand. I was not into these characters when I grew up. I was into two things pretty much until the age of about 12 or 13. Thomas the Tank Engine and Harry Potter.
I can tell. I see the broom. I see the broom back there.
And those two things like dominated my childhood. Like I used to film my own Thomas episodes with my trains and stuff like that. They're still on YouTube.
I'm gonna need to see those.
They're still on YouTube. You can look them up.
I'm gonna put a snippet of it right now over the screen.
I'll link it to you. My YouTube handle was it still is. It was Thomas J219, which is just Thomas
Oh my
John.
God, you could have
and,
made it Thomas the Tank Engine. You could have done it.
It's so funny because I started in 2007. Like I was one of the really
2 years
early,
after YouTube started.
Yeah, really, really early on YouTube. And I think I posted my first video in 2008.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
27.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I'm not that old.
I was say 2007. I was like 6.
Yeah, no. I was born in 94. But the things that I were into back then were very, very little. I got into I lost a lot of my family very quick succession. My grandmother, it's all right. My grandmother, my grandfather, and my uncle were the 3 big ones, and that happened from January 2005 to January 2007. And so after that, that's kind of when I found acting. And so I threw myself more into that. There was a theater in Philadelphia called the Walnut Street Theater. And that's where I kind of started training. And I did a camp there for a few years. I went to their theater school. But in 2008, that's when The Dark Knight came out. And I went to see that just truthfully on a whim. Because I hadn't even seen Batman Begins. And I fell in love with Heath Ledger. And that's what threw me in even more. And I went to see that movie 7 times, and I can memorize. I don't know what you would call it, but I've always been able to memorize like that. So I went to the movie a few times, and then I came home and I would just do the scenes over and over, and get the soundtrack. And that was my summer for the next 2 years. And it really all started from. Like I said, I've been doing it from a kid, but that's what really threw it into overdrive. So that's why it would have to be Joker. And Joaquin Phoenix, oh my God, he made it even more so. So
yeah, no, that's cool, because The Dark Knight is such a film that you don't have to see Batman Begins or The Dark Knight Rises to watch. You can just watch it and understand it. So it's very cool that, I expected you to say the Joker. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah. I really did. I was getting such Joker vibes from you.
Yeah. Well, there were others. I mean, I dressed up as Superman for Halloween. I love. I've always been told, as an actor in class, I'm very versatile, so I can do a lot of different things, which I think is your biggest thing as an actor. But I would love to play somebody like Batman or Superman, or even someone I'm trying to think, or the Riddler or somebody like that. Somebody you can bring somebody to, or Mr. Freeze, these characters that you haven't really seen. I got obsessed with one of my favorite Batman episodes of all time, because after Ledger of the animated series is Baby Doll. Probably because I'm an actor, but I love that friggin' episode. It is I think it is so emotional. It is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
Yeah, you're talking to a gigantic Batman fan, so
yeah,
I remember that episode very vividly, and
it's so good.
That's such a classic. Haidyn, you want to ask him?
So, one of the key factors of stepping into the world of a character is to find that those relating factors you have with the character. How did you do this, or did you take a different approach? I'm very curious.
Well, I think unless you're really unable to relate to somebody, I look at every character I play almost and some of them are nothing like me. And I'm reading the script, I'm like, oh, this guy's a little like me. And because you do really relate with people. Because most people are very similar. We have differences, and we all have different likes and things like that. But we'd be surprised truly how similar most people are. So I watch, and like I said, guys, I haven't done, because I do things very quickly. I'm very, and so I haven't really. When I get the script, that's when I sink into things, and I haven't received it yet. So I'm really more waiting. To do the voice, I looked at clips from Spider-Man with Willem Dafoe. I looked at clips from like we said, the Spectacular Spider-Man series, but I haven't delved really too deep into it yet, and I don't want to until I have a direction to go. Otherwise, it's going to be all clouded in my mind, and I'm going to have too many plots going on, and I want to wait and see what I'm going to be doing, and then I can do everything. But I'm supposed to be getting the script hopefully within the next week or two, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. I truthfully think that it's going to be. I think it's going to be finalized because it's all additional photography, but that is pure speculation on my part. I don't know.
What was?
Said, don't quote me.
I'm not confirming anything.
Yeah.
What was one of your favorite places to visit around the world when you were on the tour with the Argosian Boys Choir? I think it's called.
Oh God, the Archdiocesan Boys Choir of Philadelphia. We went to Portugal, we went to Spain, we went to Canada. I guess Portugal would be the best. Portugal was amazing. I'm Catholic. It was a Catholic choir. I mean, I'm not super practicing anymore, but I feel like you're always Catholic.
Yeah.
but we went to this place called of course now I'm going to blank on the name, but there was a miracle the last time the Blessed Mother appeared to in living memory. Like, it happened in the early 1900s, so it's actually documented. There's documentation, and there were 3 young children, Jacinta, Francesco, and there was another sister, and one of the sisters was still alive when we went there. And we sang for her and all this kind of stuff, and it was an amazing thing. And where she used to appear, because the Blessed Mother would appear to them every month at the same day at the same time, and they would have to go back. And one time they missed it because they got arrested because they were getting in trouble for saying. There's an amazing story on it. Harvey Keitel's in the movie, actually, but where she appeared, it was just this little scrap of land. They built a little church there for her, and now where that little church is, around it, they built this gigantic center, square. I don't know what to call it. It's beautiful. And my choir teacher said to us on our practices, when you go there, boys, you will sing, and you will say the prayer of "O Fatima, farewell." And when you're leaving, I don't know, you don't believe me now, but you will feel something, and you will get very upset because this place does something to you. And I was 10 years old, and I'll never forget walking out of there crying my eyes out. It was amazing. And those are the things I'm truly grateful for, because I had I feel like I missed out on some common experiences that I guess kids and teenagers would have, but I had some ones that they wouldn't really have. If that makes any sense.
No, that does. That's very interesting, because like I didn't know what the boys' choir was before asking that question. So that's very interesting that you were, able to do that. And I've never been in Portugal, so it's a cool little idea to put in my head to think about when it comes to it. So I'd love to go to Portugal, but
you'd love it. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah. Haidyn, you have a question you want to ask him?
Yeah, so while I was, doing a little bit of snooping on your IMDb, I did see that you had been singing before. So is that just like a hobby that you used to have? Is it still a thing for you? Are you hoping to take that somewhere?
I mean, I sing. I started singing. I mean, I guess you could say I even started singing before I started acting. I love music, but I kind of consider it like, if there's ever a role that requires singing, I can do that. But it's not something that I pursue. It's not something that I would turn down, but it's not something that I pursue mainly. I did take, because I felt like my voice was getting a little rusty. About a year and a half ago, I did take I had a voice coach for about a month or two, just to get things kind of back up. And that was very nice, because that singing was a great part of my life, but it also happened around all the times, all the deaths. So it was all screwed up, and I wanted to make the move into acting. And for a while, that was very difficult. So I had a very I don't want to say sour taste in my mouth for singing, but I kind of did. I didn't want to do it anymore. It was kind of a thing that I was looking to get past. But now I rediscovered it, I guess you could say. But I still don't. It's not something I pursue. You know what I mean? It's not something I pursue like on its own. Yeah.
That's pretty understandable. Getting back to a little bit more superhero as talk. If you could make a superhero with any size budget, what superhero would you do that with, and what would the story be like?
A superhero film?
Yeah. Or series, or whatever kind of media, I should say.
Oh God, I don't know. I don't know. A part of me wants to say if Zack Snyder never gets to do what he wanted to do with everything and the whole bringing Watchmen in, I'd like to do that. But truthfully, I'd like to do just a very grounded a Batman story where he kind of where you see him bring Dick Grayson in, and it goes in that direction, and then maybe you could throw everything together all at once. The formation of the gangs. I always like the beginnings of things, which I feel like you don't really. Comic book fans don't always love. We're very used to seeing our stuff, and it's like, oh, they're finished, they're doing stuff, and like, why are they making mistakes? Well, because they don't know yet. That I like those days. I would love to see like the formation of the Falcone crime family and all that, and everything kind of all happening together, and somehow Dick's parents get killed, and all these stories come in. I would like to do something like that. That's what I would do.
We are currently making a Batman series where all those ideas are being put into play. I'm not even kidding.
That's so cool.
You said that, and I immediately was like,
we looked at each other like, oh shit, like, yeah. Everything besides Dick Grayson. Everything besides Dick Grayson. Everything else though, you nailed right on the head that we were doing.
Well, see, good. I mean, great minds think alike, I believe.
Yeah,
and I think people have been playing it safe with Batman for a very long time.
Can't really.
I saw the poster. It looks fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, you saw the poster for it. Thank you.
I saw the poster. Yes. No problem.
You, man.
It looks really good. Really good.
Yeah, that was because originally that came out on Batman Day. That came out on September 18th of this year.
Yes.
And originally we wanted to film a teaser for it and film like a little cool thing to like, to celebrate Batman Day, the release for the series. But unfortunately, we just didn't have the right funds at the time yet to actually do it, and the timing. So I was like, what can we do to kind of celebrate that and also give kind of hype to what we have planned? And I was like, I think a poster would definitely do it. And, we want to shoot, in a couple different locations. And Philadelphia is definitely one that we want to do. And that's actually the Philadelphia skyline.
I knew it looked familiar. I was like, what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is the Philadelphia skyline, and that was all done in Photoshop by a good friend of mine. So yeah, I thank you for seeing the poster. I didn't actually know that you thought
no problem. Really cool, no, I think I saw I must have seen the link on your page and went over. That looked very, very good.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Haidyn, you want to ask someone? Yeah, she's actually in the series too.
Oh, good.
Yes, sir.
That's the kind of stuff, especially now, guys. I mean, this is what I said to Gavin, and I don't mean it. Take this for what it is, but it's true. Fans will eat anything up, whether it's good or bad, unfortunately. But you guys, and I think certain people, like they when you make something good, it stands out and it stands the test of time, and people really, really enjoy it. And I know it's just a poster so far, but I think you guys are on the right track.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, we have episodes 1 script is that one right there, and then we're working on episode 2 right now as we speak. So
nice. Yeah. And take your time. When don't feel like, wait till you have the money, like for real.
That's what we're planning on doing. So we obviously have a timeline that we want to do, but obviously, given what we have, we're gonna push it back or push it forward depending. But. I'm definitely, I'm a co-writer of the series, and I'm wanting to push quality over quantity. We don't have an exact episode count. We just want to make a good series, a good, even just a good first season. We just want to do that. Yeah. So that's what we have planned. But
it's better that way. I think so.
I do too. Haidyn, you want to ask someone?
Yes. So how long have you actually been acting? You said you did theater growing up.
Yeah. Oh God. It depends, I guess, what you consider the beginning. I started. I always loved to tell stories ever since I was a little kid. Like I would memorize stories and kind of recite them on the table. I think I really got into it when I was like 3, and then I did this little this little show when I just happened to be on the street in Philadelphia. They were doing like a street show, and I got pulled up, and I remember it because I was like, oh, I like this. And then I was a little bit older, and then by the time I was 9 or 10, I was in my first actual show that was Oliver Twist. With the, yeah,
Yes.
with the choir, and that was it. It all started from there. So first show, I guess at 9 or 10, started acting ever since I was like 3 or 4. Always really liked it. Had a proclivity, I guess you could say, for storytelling. I love seeing people's reactions. I can watch things over and over, and I'll still get the same like reaction. And I that's what I think making, for me, like those Thomas videos that I told you about earlier, that people now 15 years later come on and comment like every once in a while. Like, I watched this when I was a kid, and I didn't have a YouTube account, but I liked it so much, and I can comment. That's what's important.
Do you
I
still
think
have access to like that channel and those videos and
Yeah.
stuff? Oh my gosh, dude.
Amazing.
That's
If I had
awesome.
my trains and I had an apartment that could fit it, I'd still be making videos.
That's great. Yeah, my first YouTube video wasn't on my channel. It was actually on my cousin's channel. We posted, I think it was 2010 would have been it. I was 8 going on 9. No, 9. And we did the cinnamon challenge. And
Oh
filmed it.
God!
That was a very dumb experience, but that was my first insight into YouTube.
I was gonna say, did you survive?
I
didn't want, my
pushed
friends
out.
were
I
doing
pushed
that.
out.
I couldn't do it.
I put it in my mouth and then immediately spit it out. Like immediately.
It's horrible. It's like you're choking. I've done it by accident with cinnamon, so I can imagine like if you do it with like
a spoonful. That's what we
yeah,
did.
a spoonful.
If
I
you
did the
look hard
saltine
enough,
challenge.
You can find my old monologue videos.
Ah, really?
my
I would
old
like to see
agent.
them.
Oh no,
Okay.
no, it's bad.
My
Yeah.
first official video was October 23rd, 2015. I just got out of the I just got out of the hospital, and I didn't even do anything in it besides tell my audience what my channel was going to be. That was my first
And
video.
I'm sorry. How old are you guys?
I'm 19 currently.
Oh my God. You're both 19?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, you're babies. I know it doesn't feel like it, but you're babies. You are.
Dude.
I was wishing. It feels like yesterday, because when I was 19, I was in my second year of conservatory, and it was like, boom, 7 years goes by.
Hey man, I mean, you did not look 26 at all. I'm gonna be honest.
I know that's great, but
No.
it's always great. But you still want. There's this guy I watch on YouTube, and he said one day you wake up in your late 20s and you're tired, and then it just never goes away, and you're tired for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you do not look your age whatsoever. I thought you were
Thank
like,
you.
I thought you were
appreciate
closer
that.
to like Warden, and I mean Gavin's
Well, you wanna
18.
hear-
Gavin
Yeah,
is 18. Like,
I know. And you want to hear a story? A friend of mine and I tried to get pizza in LA. There's really nowhere to get pizza. So
Really?
there is, but most of it you have to really know where to go to get good pizza. And maybe it's because I'm from Philadelphia. And
Definitely have to know where to go.
yeah, I've only been to LA once, and I was like, I want to say I was like 7.
Yeah.
And
That's where I grew up.
Yeah.
So I
You said
definitely
your
understand
hometown,
that.
Yeah.
Detroit all the way. That's my
Yeah.
hometown. So.
But I'm sorry, we went to Chuck E. Cheese just to pick up a pizza because it's right down the street. And because their pizza's hey, say what you want. Their pizza's good, but when I walked in, the guy's like, "How old are you?" And I thought he was kidding, like, "Oh, why are you guys at Chuck E. Cheese?" But he wanted to see my ID because you can't come in there if you're under 18. I'm like, dude, I'm 27.
You can't go into Chuck E. Cheese if you're under 18.
No, without an
a
adult.
parent. No. Could you imagine?
What?
Yeah.
Could you imagine? I'll tell you, in Philadelphia, they destroy the place. Oh my God. If you had a bunch of 15, 16, 17-year-olds in there.
I mean, yeah, fair. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
the maturity level and everything like that, and, kids
That's why
and
they don't do it.
teenagers. Yeah, I get that, but it's just like, Chuck E. Cheese, of all places, you have to be 18 to go into.
Well,
That
you gotta look at it from their legal standpoint. Now they serve alcohol. If they have somebody, they didn't back then, but it's for kids, and they're like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Once you get past, and that's how they get away with it, because it's a kid's place. And if you are technically a minor, you can't come in without your parent. And that's because they operate, I believe, and I don't know what the words are for it, but that's their thing. If you're a minor, you have to be in there with a parent. So they try and deter the older people from coming in and destroying the place and jumping in the pulpit and getting drunk and shit.
I'll never forget. I went to with my sisters. I went to I think it was like a club or something. I don't know. I don't remember what. I just turned 18. Like, I was, fresh into adulthood, and we all entered in at the same time, but I was kind of going first, and they let me in right away. I don't know what it was. I think I've always had a beard, so I think maybe that was just the reason behind it.
Maybe it's probably the beard.
It's probably the beard. I walked in, and I'm the youngest. I'm the baby of the family, and I got in, and they stopped my sisters. So I then had to go back out and explain that I was the last one to come out of my mother, and that they were the first.
They're older than me.
Yeah, like they are 3 and 6 years older than me.
That's so funny.
I don't quite understand, but that blows my mind with Chuck E. Cheese. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I get it.
It blows your mind too, because you're not the kind of person who would do those kind of things.
Yeah.
That, I think, is also part of it. When you're like, well, why would that be?
Well, like, even when I was like 15, 16, I remember at the middle school I went to, there was a McDonald's right next to it, and kids could just go there in the morning, get breakfast or whatever, and then after school they can get lunch or whatever. Well, they banned middle schoolers from coming in because there was a big fight that happened, and they trashed the place. And I remember sitting there and I was just like, why do kids do? I'll never understand why kids do that.
I don't understand either. But that's the thing.
I make myself sound so old, even though I'm not even in my 20s yet. But like, I hate kids. I hate kids so much.
It's this weird. It is a very strange mentality today. It is a nothing matters in a way. Nothing that should matter matters, and everything that shouldn't matter does matter. It's a very that's a simplifying way to simplify it, but it's a very, very strange world. But all those places are franchises, so somebody different owns every Chuck E. Cheese or every McDonald's, so they can set those rules if they need to. There were so many corner stores on my way home from school when I was growing up in South Philly that after a while they would start putting signs on the door: no more than 1 kid at a time, 2 kids at a time, no backpacks. Because they're getting robbed.
All right, well, Haidyn, you want to ask one more? We're going to do 2 more questions, and then we're going to get into the fan ones.
For sure.
I actually have an LA pizza recommendation for you.
Okay.
Before we get into the next question.
Okay, let's hear it.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's called Cheetahs or something like that. It's like CHEET something. That's all I remember about it. But I remember going there and the pizza was really good. It's right at the bottom of the hill of Griffith Park. And it is pretty decent pizza.
I will try. I will definitely try it. I have to go there on, I think, this weekend, actually. So I will go there.
It's a cute little corner shop. It looks a little sketch, but it is good.
The best places do, always.
And they are just super nice, like family-owned place. It's great.
Yeah.
But I do have another question for you.
Okay.
What has been your favorite project you have actually been a part of?
That's hard. Oh my God. I haven't thought about that in a long time. There's so many projects that just mean so much to you. I guess I can't pick one. I'm going to narrow it down to 2. I'm going to actually pick 3. When I was in school, Romeo and Juliet. So that was my training. That was my favorite show that I did while I was training. I got to play Romeo. When I moved it,
back in the day.
yeah,
I was Romeo.
yeah, it's my. I still think it's my favorite play. What Shakespeare got out on one page, what certain playwrights can't get out today in like 80. Then I did a show called Flare Path in 2014. That was my first real professional show in LA. That was also a theater show, and that was a really good experience. We were doing 8 shows a week, and that was really fun. And then I suppose my favorite project, in film, would have to probably be the Netflix thing that I did, which is now on YouTube under Crypt TV. It's called Keep Out. And so those, I guess, would be my 3: 1 training, 1 theater, and 1 film.
Awesome.
Well, we are getting to the wrap up of the show. Since this is an interviews with Lotus episode, I always ask this question to every single one of the people that we have on the show. With you, I don't know if you'll be able to answer it because you haven't.
And that's what I was gonna say. I hope that I have given you guys. I'm giving you as much as I know. I'm hoping
this one isn't really a spoiler or anything like that. It's more just, from your standpoint, you haven't been on the cast and in the project for long. But I'm gonna ask it anyway. If you could describe Spider-Man Lotus in 1 word, what would it be and why?
Oh, I can totally do that.
If I didn't ask this question, the fans would get upset with me, so I had to ask that question.
Can you ask? Is there another question?
That's the last one.
That's the last. There were 2 fan questions. Okay, because I
wanted.
No.
That question is.
Fan questions.
That question is
our question.
Yeah, is my question.
Can we circle back to that? Because I want to think of, because I'm struggling between 2 words. Okay. Let's go back. Let's circle right back to that.
The 2 questions is from one person by the name of Cinematic Movie Maker, and his 2 questions
I
are.
think I know him.
Yeah, his 2 questions are: what is your favorite film? What would be your favorite film?
Such a hard question.
I know. I have an answer, but it took years in the making to answer that question.
Well, what's your answer?
V for Vendetta.
Ah, very good. Very good answer.
Yeah.
Amadeus.
Ooh, that's a good answer too. Haidyn, what's your favorite movie?
Oh God.
It's hard.
Probably mine would have to be like a musical because that's my thing. Probably Mamma Mia or Hairspray.
Okay.
Probably more Hairspray because the plot's better. But anyway.
And then his other question, which we kind of touched up on a little bit, was: have you talked to the rest of the cast of Spider-Man Lotus yet?
Yes, I mean not everybody, but everybody's been very nice on Instagram.
All great
people who. Yeah, I mean, it's always a little weird getting to know people over Instagram, but I've talked to Warden. He's very nice. I've talked to Gavin, of course, probably the most. Everybody's been very cool, and everybody, like I said, in December is when I'm really looking forward to meeting everyone. That I'm actually hoping that we'll do a movie night and watch a bunch of different things. I haven't had people to watch movies like that with since I was back in school. Like I'm talking like I love all films, but like I've been watching like A Streetcar Named Desire recently. I love that. And Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. All these amazing films that I feel like is a style of not even acting, of feeling, I would say, that people are very, very, very afraid of today. And that's why I think a lot of the stuff gets made is very superficial, shall we say. And so it's why everybody can look at something and be like, wow. Like everybody can look at Joker and Joaquin Phoenix and say, wow, that was an amazing performance. But not everybody can give one or explain what makes one. That's the difference. You feel it, but it's more it's unspoken. Yeah, that's what I think.
Well, getting back to it,
the word for Lotus. I think if I had to pick one word, and I'm trying to pick a word that's not corny. But
Go for it. Pick a corny word. It's fine.
I think it would be inspiring. And that's more about the production than about the story itself. But I think it could relate to the story too.
Mm-hmm.
I think I really truly think that it's inspiring what has happened and what they have done. And like I said, I'm just familiar with like the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, that I think is where we are gonna call today's episode. John, once again, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you guys. I truly appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
If you want, it's up until the end of November. I'm going to leave the Spider-Man Lotus Indiegogo down in the description down below, as long as John social medias as well. As well as the rest of the cast and crew. Obviously, same thing. I'm going to leave Haidyn's down there, the new host, as well as you can find me always down there. But this has been the final episode of Interviews with Lotus. This series is now done, and I swear to God,
you shoot it now. I'm kidding.
Gavin, I will scream at Gavin if he reveals another cast that I have not done yet. I will scream at him and be like, dude, come on. But for right now, this is the final episode. So once again, John, thank you so much for coming out. It's been a pleasure, buddy.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
You too, guys.
Wow.
But you guys, look at that background. I love that background.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. This is
No
Haidyn.
problem. My
She is
hair's a mess.
no, you're good, man. She is a new host of NerdTalk.
Hi,
so.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you for real. Actually, hear your voice.
Right. You just I'm sorry, I was expecting it on the computer. Just give me 1 second to get the phone propped up so I don't have to sit here holding it and look like an idiot.
No, you're good. I don't know
Okay.
why it wasn't working for your computer. I have no idea.
Because my computer is from like 2010. That's probably why. So
That's fine. Do you think you can do it horizontally?
do it this way? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Not to brag,
Actually.
but my boyfriend built me a PC.
That's amazing. It's better to get them built. It really, really is.
Yeah,
Because so
Yeah.
much cheaper and you
He's
do so much
great.
more.
yeah, man. Have you, John? So, John, real quick, how do I pronounce your last name so I don't butcher it?
Salandria.
Salandria. Okay, good. Because I was
Alright,
reading,
very
I
cool.
wrote the script out and I wrote your name in there, and I was like, I'm gonna butcher that if I don't ask him. So I'm gonna just ask him just to be safe.
No, everybody says either Salandria or Salandria, and it's Salandria. So it's Italian.
Salandria.
Good. Have you watched any of the other episodes that we've done, or?
I watched a little bit of no, because I haven't. I haven't really been too involved, to be honest with you. I'm rather new.
Oh, okay.
But I watched a little bit of your episode with Gavin, and I watched a little bit of your episode with just a little bit of everybody's
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, because we've done everybody. Everybody's
Yeah.
on the show. So, well, basically how this is going to work is I'm going to just deliver the intro, and then me and Haidyn have 20 questions to ask you, 10 each, and then we
Okay.
have 2 fan questions to ask you. So,
Sure.
fans submitted questions that they want to know. Real quick, this is completely off script. I wanted to know this. How did you do your goblin laugh? Where did that come from?
Wow.
Yeah, she just saw the trailer. She had never seen it. So she heard your laugh
Thank
for the
you,
first time
guys.
today. So how did you actually get that going?
To be honest with you, Gavin asked me for a few different lines for the trailer that might have been used, and then he asked me for a laugh, and then the lines were good. He was like, those are good. He's like, but the laugh he wanted a little bit different. He's like, he asked me to do it a little bit more sinister, and I was like, okay. And it's funny because with things like a laugh, you really can overthink it very, very easily. And
Yeah. I understand that one.
It's true. And I always find that I'm a very auditory person. I'm very into music, and I think even in things that are not where the audio is considered the most important part, it just plays a very important part. If you're ever having trouble understanding a movie, even with the subtitles on, turn away or watch it with your eyes closed, because your other senses will kick in and you'll hear stuff that you've never heard before. And it's a very, very strange but very beneficial way of looking at stuff. But anyway, I just went in the bathroom one day and kind of, because that's unfortunately where I'm recording everything right now, but it works very well. And I kind of set everything up, and I just did it once, and I had a very long take that I sent him, and he kind of took that out of it. But where it came from, because he sent me some clips of course, Willem Dafoe and Steve Blum doing Green Goblin, but I'm not too familiar with Spider-Man, to be perfectly frank with you. I saw the films back when I was a kid, but they were pretty much, for me, they were one and dones. I was not what you would call a fan. I got into it more recently. So I felt like I didn't want to do an imitation, because that's what so many people try and do. I feel like if you start from a voice that's somewhere else. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen Pennywise the Clown, but the 90s one.
Yeah, Tim Curry.
Yes, I loved that. And truthfully, if I'm being honest with you, I kind of bore that voice, that laugh was born from him. And in that smoker kind of, that raspy bit of voice, and I kind of just shifted that a little bit to kind of match what he had sent me, the clips with the Green Goblin, which were incredible. I really enjoyed the cartoon that he sent me, and I'm not sure what that. I think it was the Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah,
I think it was Spectacular Spider-Man.
Spectacular Spider-Man. Yes, see, but I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that, and that put me, I think, in the right direction.
Yeah. No, I only asked because, like, it is, because I know you were going for your own version of it, but I definitely did get some Willem Dafoe vibes, and I definitely got, like, that was pure, like, what I was looking for Green Goblin. So it always interests me, like, especially because I'm a very audio person myself, and it always interests me, that idea of, like, how does someone go into that and understand how that process works. So that's pretty cool. We're gonna get started. I'm gonna do the intro. We're gonna do a countdown from 5. I'll do the intro, and then we'll just go back and forth and ask you questions. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Awesome, man.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. All right. 4,